Hey guys, Ninja Machine 45 here. I'm showing you three builds today that could actually be pretty good for basically running during Shadows of the Ertree. I'll show you a holy build, a fire build, and a lightning build, and I'll show you all these during this. And I'll be going from probably about the Helgar tree to some places in thing. So there are some spoilers after this. If you don't want to listen to it, don't listen to it and don't watch this video. But I would really help if you subscribed and watched the video if you liked it. Alright, let's get into it. So first off, right, as you can see, I'm wearing the Mesmer armor set, which I farmed and stuff. I do like running shields, so I thought a Holy Faith build warrior work. So one weapon is actually pretty dumb, and if you haven't tried this, try this. There's a colossal hammer that's new. It's called, where is it? Ah, here it is. Black steel great hammer. So I'm gonna take the Ash of War off first to show you why it's actually pretty dumb. So as you can see, I got maxed out. It's a pretty thing. Lots of holy damage thing. For my stats, for what I worst, it's like 757 without any Ashes of War, so which is good. As you can see, I'm pretty high level for thing. This is for New Game Plus like 1 or higher. So the reason why I suggest this weapon is because it's basically the weapon makes it so that ertree incantations do more damage, and holy skills will also make it more damage as well. It also has a special ability when you guard counter. So because of this, and if you like, I suggest running a shield with this because it works wicked well with the shield and stuff. For talismans, I couldn't find good armor sets for it, so I don't suggest the armor sets. You could probably find it yourself, but for talismans, I suggest running Dragon Crest, Great Shield Talisman. Now, if you're confident in your dodging ability, obviously you don't need to use this, but since you're going to be guarding a lot with the shield, I suggest running Green Turtle Talisman, or you could just run your flask to have this ability instead, because there's a tier for that. So obviously, because I feel okay but not great, I'm going to use that. As for its other talisman, now because we're using the shield, there's a new shield during the DLC called the Pearl Shield Talisman. I forget where I got this, I can't really show it to you, but it boosts all non-physical damage while negation while guarding. So anytime they're going to do like thunder, fire, stuff like that, that's not physical damage, it's going to boost that amount of damage you're going to block. So these are about that, and obviously the Dragon Crest. You can do it. And the Dragon Crest is pretty easy to get. It's in the Helgar tree. And you can look up videos to grab it because it's wicked easy. The other ones I will show you if you want to. I will show you other videos on how to get some of the other stuff that you're going to need important. And I will show you how to get the hammers because the hammer's really important. As for the other two for this, I suggest running Shard of Alexander. It's a long-ass quest line during the main campaign, but this is going to be a really good talisman for New Game Plus, especially when you do DLC again. So I do suggest running that. As for your last talisman, pretty much anything you want is fine for a warrior, but something that obviously is not going to fix you as a warrior. So Ertree's Favor +2 is good, but because of what we're doing, I'm going to put the Green Turtle Talisman, obviously, to do it. So for the hammer, right, it actually is pretty great for basically strength, B, and scaling and all that. There's really only 2 incantations skills you really want for this, and you want to choose one of them. And there's one that I think is better for you should be using, and one that's good but not like crazy for you to be using. So there's 3 that you can use, and I'll show each 3 and which one that you can try. So there is Golden Slam. I hate this one in terms of aesthetic wise because I think it looks stupid. I will change my armor set just to give me more tankiness. So I think we do this with, I think we can do the Hassles on. So I'll show you this with Hazel's armor. We're gonna fight this guy. Show it. Yep. See how all that damage is from guarding and blocking. Now, if I use the skill, well, if I use the skill, right? I don't suggest it because obviously it doesn't do as much damage. But the charging effect backwards is pretty dumb. Right? So I really don't suggest it. In terms of damage is good. The 2 Ashes of War that I recommend using for this one is Golden Land is 1. Golden Land is actually very OP for this Ash of War. Combined with it, it's very, very OP for this with this hammer. Yeah, that's half health with one ash, and she's dead. Right? So this is one that's very good. Wicked OP. But the one that I think is good and better, and the reason why I say it's better, it's going to turn your Mimic Tier into a monster, is frickin' Prayful Strike. Prayful Strike is going to turn this into your Mimic Tier into a monster. Right? Ah. Was not expecting that. But yeah, sorry about that, guys. But yeah, Prayful Strike because both, and I'll explain why this one in a minute in terms of like, it's not just in terms of, oh my god. And yeah. But yeah, it's not just in terms of damage and stuff. It's what Prayful Strike does that's more of why you want to run this Ash of War. The reason why you want to run this Ash of War is not only does it increase your poise when you use it, right, you gain health back every time. Ah, I died, dude. Get out of my face. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for that. By using this hammer, obviously you want something better for armor set because this one's kind of, in terms of like, you know, but this is wicked powerful because Prayful Strike makes it so you raise in the air, increases your poise. And you can, when you hit the target, you restore HP and nearby allies. So you can hit a person, the Mimic Tier gets its health back, it hits it, you get your health back, especially as long as you're close together. So basically you could turn your Mimic Tier into a fucking monster. The other build, and before I end this build, you can get this weapon in this area. Basically when the game starts, you're going to start off like, I want to say like, yeah, here, somewhere close to here. Where is it? Right here. And you just want to go to this area right here. You can take Torrent, just go and get right here. And there's going to be a knight here, a black knight, and you want to beat him and you're going to get the hammer. The other build that I want to suggest, and it's wicked fun, it's wicked cool, and I will admit it, it's wicked cool, and the armor set's wicked cool, is the Death Knight build. So you want to run the full Death Knight set. And as you can see, it's very intimidating, everything. But what's cool about this set is it boosts all skills and incantations of the capital's ancient dragon cult. So any lightning spell or ability, it's going to boost that. So that would be like, for example, lightning spear, Landsack's glaive. It's going to boost ancient dragon lightning strike, ancient dragon lightning spear, home bolt lightning strike, lightning spear, Fortisax axe, you know. These ones, which is very cool. There is 2 weapons I suggest for this build. One weapon's for PvE, one's for PvP. For the PvP, in order to get this set, you're gonna have to do a dungeon in the DLC. The dungeon is, this is where you end up. Okay, it's this dungeon right here, the Darklight Catacombs. You're gonna need a torch. If you think your lantern's gonna cover it, it's not. You're not gonna find every item in this dungeon without a torch, because it's wicked dark in here. So you want to go through that dungeon. Eventually you'll find it in there. Now I'm gonna first show you the very good PvP weapon that I suggest running. Sorry, not PvP, PvE, my bad. So the first weapon is axe. It is, there it is. It is the Death Knight's long axe, and with the Ash of War Blink Bolt long hefted axe. So Blink Bolt is a new ash that you have in the game. I haven't found the specific ash itself, so I can't really tell you. For skills, because I run the shield, obviously these 2, but because of how this works, Charlotte's Alexander works, and you can run, if you really want to, you want to do more damage and stuff, you can run, what was it? Lightning Scorpion Charm, releases lightning but lowers damage negation, which also works. You don't charge it, so it doesn't really do any of that. So it's pretty good. If you don't want to run the shield, right, you can take off the shield. Right, I'll take it off for now, just to show you guys. I'll two-hand the weapon. And you can run, instead, you can run there's a new talisman plus 3, boost non-physical damage negation by the utmost, so you can find this in the DLC. And for the weapon itself, you're gonna have to get it in the DLC as well, like everything else. Basically for this thing, this DLC, this weapon is pretty, it's not super hard. You gotta go to these catacombs right here. Now do not think it's this area, you have to go from down this area to do it. And you get to here. This area, this catacomb is gonna grant you that weapon. It's wicked cool, it's wicked fun, it's wicked smexy. Now, for lightning, what we can do, and for builds, if you don't want to run the Pearl Drake Charm, you could run All Lord's Talisman as a cool ability, expends the duration, and you could combo it by running it with Electro Speed Charge, and then, for example, maybe combo with Law of Casuality, and this will also help you do it. I'm going to tell you why this weapon's actually pretty good in PvP, and not this one, but this one's good for bosses. So Can knock you out of it. Yeah. So you can it, and Blink Bolt does allow you to dodge attacks, as long as you get the timing down right. But, as you can see by the damage, it's good for PvE, but not PvP, because there's other enemies that can do it. And it's pretty easy to dodge for, you know, enemy players. But the other weapon that's good for PvE would be definitely the Death Knight Twin Axes. And I'll show you this one is differently and different. I'm not going to do it against the Clean Rock Knight because the damage I feel like isn't like as good for skill wise. But I will fight the Death Knight and probably die just to show you that like why it also works. And like I said before, you can put the Law of Casualty, which is good because this is going to make it so that when you get attacked enough, you're going to retaliate, and you can add, you know, the Electro Charge for the extra damage and stuff like that. So I'm going to twin this, and then you're going to be able to see it. For this one, exact same ability, it does Blink Bolt, but instead of the dash attack up front, you'll see in a minute. See, I can do lots of spinning attacks. And it does a shit ton of damage if you do it correctly. Like I said, you do want to definitely time it right with the attack from your enemies. Yep, and the stab also does damage. So it's very good. This is a cool new build, and before Lightning was pretty garbage before because we couldn't do much damage with it, but because of this armor set and stuff, we can actually do way more damage now. And finally, the last build that I can show you, and this one shreds right now, is the Fire Knight build. And I will show you how to get that armor set and items right now. Alright. So, I didn't show the other two before because the other one too was just a pain in the butt to get. So, and before I get off of this set, the twin axes are actually pretty easy at the beginning. You want to get it from, once you reach here, this grace, you know, obviously you're going to fight this boss. The first boss you should be fighting is over here. Once you get here, this is the second boss. From this grace, before that castle thing, you want to go this way. There's going to be a catacombs right here, and in these catacombs you're going to get the twin axes. The final build is obviously the OP Fire Knight build. So Fire Knight Greaves, Fire Knight Gauntlets, Mesmer's Flame, Fire Knight Armor. And the only thing that's hard, or going to be hard for you to find, is probably the Winged Serpent Helm. For weapons, you're going to want to run, there's a new weapon that an enemy drops, just like the hammer, called, where is it? I feel like I'm going past it. There it is. Fire Knight's Flame Arc Greatsword. Because of how this build works, you won't be really needing, just these two are pretty much enough. If you want more damage, I do suggest Fire Scorpion Charm. And with the running the shield, if you want to run like something different than the regular shield, before you could run like the guard boosting ability or whatever. But yeah, you don't really need any of these other stuff. You could put, if you're running Flame Spear instead, and I'll show that in a minute, you could do that instead. Put this, I'll put this on for now. But yeah, so you're going to be running this weapon. Now, the reason why this is pretty good build too is, and I'll show you by changing some of the stuff around. Basically, This new Flame Serpent is a new OPS incantation because of how you can spam it and stuff like that. So first off, you can buff yourself. So you could, well, yeah, I don't have it equipped. Hold on. We do that. All right. So you don't want Rain of Fire. It's a huge FP cost thing, but what we want it for is not for these two, but it's these two pieces. And I put the other two on because it looks good. So the Flame Knight armor is good because it makes it so that anytime you use Mesmer's flame incantations, they do more damage. Fire Serpent is a Mesmer's flame incantation. And it's insane because with the stats that we have, we're doing 932, and we also have Flame Grant Me Strength, which boosts it up by 200, I think, because we're applying both fire and physical damage to the weapon. Yep, so it's 1,118, which is insane. The reason why we want the helm is because it boosts Fire Knight skills, and Flame Skewer is a Fire Knight spell. It's one of the two Ashes of War thing, and I'll show you how to get those two ones. So we'll first use this one first. So first off, in order to get it, this whole set, you do have to go to this. There's going to be a character called a Fire Knight. He's going to look like how I look, and you're going to have to farm his ass. He's going to eventually drop the sword, the armor set, but he's not going to drop the helm piece or the Ashes of War. The Flame Skewer Ash you can get from this church, so all you have to do is just go to this grace. After you beat this boss, you'll get to this grace, and then through the door, and then you just take your torrent, go to this church. You'll be invaded by some guy named Quilif, and he'll drop the Flame Skewer thing. After that, you want to go up to the front gate, explore the whole castle, and you'll face this person at the top where wielding the helmet that I'm wielding, and at that helmet will also grant you the helmet and the Flame Skewer Ashes of War. Now the difference between which one is Flame Skewer I feel is faster, but the Flame Spear goes farther. Now the reason why this is OP is I'll show you right now. So we do Flame Grant Me Strength, boosting our fire damage thing. Now I can spam this, by the way. And killed it pretty fast and pretty instantly. It's a wicked good spell. It's wicked dumb. What makes it super annoying is it goes decently far and it tracks too. The Ashes of War. Right, the Ashes of War go pretty far. That's the thing. You can't really see it from there, but yeah. So it's a ranged projectile, but I don't really like it because of the thing. Now because it goes, we also get buffs as well. It provides an extra 200 points of damage because my sword's on fire. The one that I like, that I think you guys should be running more, that's better, is the opposite one, which is Flame Skewer, personally. Flame Skewer I feel like is better in general, and the reason for this, is because I can close the distance faster. Right, almost 2 attacks dead, boom, he's gone. What's cool about this Flame Skewer is it's Giant's Hunt, so you rush forward, stab, but you can also throw the fire afterwards, a little extra. This is great because if there's certain enemies that do dodge your attacks, so if he dodges the Astral War, you still do damage by throwing fire in his face. And the reason why you want to farm it for this weapon is because of its ability is blessed with flame incantation. Further flame imbuement will amplify the effect and greatly increase the armor's power. Meaning, when you equip a fire skill to it, it does more damage. And we want the Fire Knights because of the helmet to do even more damage. And this is pretty much it for this build. I only wanted to make it like a couple, you know, it's not too long, but I wanted to do it so you guys can try to make this build in the future in terms of like how good it is and stuff like that. If you watch, thank you. If not, okay. But anyway, thank you for watching. See you next time.